Marcus Hale had been working quietly in a corner of the company lobby for almost 2 hours. He was a single father, and after dropping his daughter Sophie at school, he had come straight to the office to finish an urgent project. His clothes were plain, his laptop was outdated, and he had no assistant, no expensive watch, and no reason to draw attention. He was simply there to work. A manager named Rebecca walked through the lobby and noticed him. She stopped. "Excuse me, what are you doing here?" Marcus looked up. Working for which department?" "Operations," Rebecca frowned. "I don't recognize you." Marcus smiled politely. "I don't think we've met." She looked at his laptop. "Where's your badge?" He pointed to it. "Right here." Rebecca barely glanced at it. "You can't just sit in the lobby. I've been approved to work here today." "By whom?" "The operations director." Rebecca crossed her arms. "I'm the floor manager. Nobody works in this lobby without my permission." Marcus remained calm. "I understand. Then pack your things and leave." Marcus shook his head. "I have an important deadline." Rebecca's expression hardened. "I don't care about your deadline." Several employees looked over. Marcus lowered his voice. "I'd rather not cause a scene than leave." He continued typing. Rebecca stared at him in disbelief. "You're refusing a direct instruction?" "I'm following the instruction of my department." Rebecca pulled out her phone. "Fine." She stepped away. "Security. I need someone removed from the lobby." Marcus heard her. He stopped typing, then he checked the time. He looked at the phone on his desk. A notification had just arrived. The message said, "Board meeting moved to 2:00, CEO arriving early." Marcus smiled. Rebecca returned. "Security is coming." Marcus closed his laptop. "No, they aren't." Rebecca laughed. "How would you know?" "Because I just canceled the request." She stared at him. "You don't have authority to do that." Marcus stood. "Actually, I do." Rebecca rolled her eyes. "Who are you?" Marcus looked at her calmly. "Marcus Hale." "I know your name." "No," he said. "You know the name on my employee badge." He reached into his folder and pulled out a document. Rebecca read it. Her expression changed. The document identified Marcus as the company's majority owner and chairman. She looked at him. "You're yes, the owner." Marcus nodded. Rebecca's face turned pale. "But you were sitting here working." She couldn't speak. Marcus continued. "I've spent the morning reviewing how employees are treated when executives aren't around." Rebecca swallowed. "I didn't know." Marcus nodded. "That was the test." "But I didn't do anything wrong." Marcus looked at her. "You called security on an employee without verifying his authorization." "I thought you were unauthorized." "You saw my badge." You could have called the operations director." "I was trying to protect the company." Marcus shook his head. "No, you were protecting your assumptions." The lobby became completely silent. Rebecca looked around. "Please give me another chance." Marcus's voice remained calm. "You weren't fired because you didn't recognize me. You're being fired because you decided someone didn't belong before checking the facts." She lowered her head. "Mr. Hale, please." Marcus handed her a written notice. "Your employment ends today." She stared at the paper, then Marcus added, "Your security request has been canceled." Rebecca slowly walked away. The employees in the lobby remained silent. One young employee finally approached Marcus. "Sir, are you really the chairman?" Marcus smiled. "Unfortunately." The employee laughed nervously. Marcus picked up his laptop. "Don't worry. I don't expect anyone to recognize me. Just treat everyone with respect." That afternoon, Marcus called a leadership meeting. He didn't begin by talking about Rebecca. He talked about culture. "I was sitting in the lobby this morning," he said. "Someone assumed I didn't belong." He looked around the table. "The problem isn't that she made a mistake. The problem is that nobody stopped to verify the truth." A manager asked, "What should we do differently?" Marcus answered, "Ask questions before making accusations, verify before escalating, and never confuse someone's appearance with their value." The company introduced new procedures. Employees could work in shared spaces with proper authorization. Managers were required to verify concerns before contacting security. Most importantly, staff were reminded that security wasn't a weapon for personal authority. Months later, Marcus returned to the same lobby. He sat in the exact same chair. A new manager approached him. "Good morning, sir." "Good morning. Can I help you?" Marcus smiled. "No, I'm just working." She nodded. "Of course." Then she walked away. Marcus opened his laptop. A few minutes later, his daughter called. "Dad, are you coming home?" "Yes, sweetheart. Did you have a good day?" Marcus smiled. "I learned something." "What?" "Sometimes the best way to find out what's wrong with a company is to sit quietly and let people show you." Sophie laughed. "Did you fix it?" Marcus looked around the lobby. "I think so." He closed his laptop. The lesson stayed with him. The manager had thought she was calling security to remove an ordinary single dad. She didn't know she was calling security on the person who could remove her from the company. But Marcus didn't fire her because she failed to recognize the owner. He fired her because she failed to recognize something far more important. Every employee deserves respect, especially when you think they have no power.